of the Arden Shakespeare Guild, I am welcoming you to our 21st annual Young Actors Workshop. We are finally legal. That's all right. The Arden Shakespeare Guild, as many of you know, is part of the Greater Arden Club, who maintain this building, pay for the heat, do the maintenance, and all of the refurbishments. So we ask, if you have not already given a donation at the door, that on your way out, whatever you can, we appreciate. Our summer show this year is going to be a stunner, Romeo and Juliet, directed by Katie Donovan. And it will be, auditions will be held tomorrow and Tuesday with callbacks on Thursday. I do want to thank all of the parents here for letting us have your children for these 6 weeks. It's always been an illuminating and enriching experience. So let's get to our scenes. Our first scene is directed by Jessica Jordan. You may remember her as Hero, as Portia, and as Titania in Midsummer Night's Dream. So let's get right to it. Jessica.
Thanks, Mary Catherine. Yeah. Hi, gang. How are you guys doing today? Hello, hello. So the presentation we're going to put on today is Act 1, Scene 1 of King Lear. Just to set the stage a little bit, what's happened is that King Lear has called his 3 children towards him. 2 of his daughters have brought their husbands with them, his youngest daughter who is yet not married. And basically, Lear has decided to try to ask his children to prove who loves him the most. And whomever loves him the most is actually he's going to cut his kingdom in thirds and try to see what happens. Of course, that's not how it always works here in Shakespeare. So we're going to see what happens here in a moment. I've never seen King Lear adorable, but you're about to see what I've seen over the last 6 weeks. So I'd really like to thank the parents who have allowed me to spend time with their kids and to learn from them. So without further ado, I give you the most adorable King Lear.
Tell me, my daughters, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, who shall we say doth love us most, or our largest bounty may extend, and nature doth merit challenge? Goneril, our eldest born, speak first.
Sir, I do love you more than words can wield the matter, dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty, beyond which can be valued rich or rare, no less than life with grace, health, beauty, honor. As much as a child your love to her father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable, beyond all manner of so much, I love you.
What shall Cordelia speak? Love, and be silent.
Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shadowy forests and champaigns rich, with plenteous rivers and wide-skirted meads, here we make thy lady. By thou and Albany's issue, we be this perpetual. What says our second daughter, Regan, wife of Cornwall? Speak.
So I made of that same self-will as my sister, and prize me at court. Punch me in thy very deed of love, only she comes too short that I profess myself an enemy to all those who joys, which the most precious square of sense possesses. Find I am alone, Felicite, and your dear highness's love. Then poor Cordelia, and yet not so, since I am sure my love is more ponderous than my tongue.
To thee and thine heredity ever remain an ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that conferred on Goneril. And now, our joy, even our last and least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest. What can you say to drive a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing?
Nothing.
How? Nothing can come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy I am. I cannot hew my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more nor less.
How, Cordelia? Mend your speech a little, lest you may mar your fortunes.
Good, my lord. You have begot me, bred me, loved me. I treat his duties as they are right fit, obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sister
you all. Happily when I shall wed, the Lord who must take my fleet shall carry half my love, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters to love my father all.
But goes thy heart with this?
Aye, good my lord.
So young and so untender.
So young, my lord, and true.
Let it be so. Thy truth to me thy dower. For by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operations of the orbs, here I disclaim all my parental care, propinquity, and property of blood. And as a stranger to my heart, hold thee from this forever. The barbarous Scythian has made his generation messes to gorge his appetite, and shall to my bosom be as well neighborly, pitied, and relieved as thou my sometime daughter.
You guys back. I have always thought that King Lear needed a touch of adorable. And I'm right. Our next scene is directed by Ken Wilson and Aaron Lee. Many of you have seen Ken Wilson on stage at our Shakespeare performances. One of my favorites is the hapless and dying Oswald in King Lear. One of my favorites. Aaron Lee is a go-to stage manager and assistant director on many productions both here and around the town. So, without further ado, Ken and Aaron.
As the noble people of the Italian town of Messina planned for the wedding of Hero and Claudio, the local police department, called the Watch, gathered together to discuss their duties for the night. Dogberry, the head constable, and Burgess, his deputy, command them. Dogberry and Burgess are well-intentioned and take their jobs very seriously, but they are also ridiculous. Dogberry is a master of malapropisms, always getting his words just slightly wrong. Under Dogberry, the Watch is very polite, but not very effective at deterring crime. As Dogberry gives orders to our men, it becomes clear that the Watch is charged with doing very little. For example, when asked how the men should react should someone refuse to stand in Don Pedro's name, Dogberry replies, "Why then take no note of him, but let him go," and presently call the rest of the Watch together and thank God you are rid of a knave. She also tells the Watch to order drunkards to go home and sleep their drunkenness off, unless the drunkards won't listen, in which case the men are to ignore them. The men should not make too much noise in the street, and they may sleep instead. They shouldn't catch thieves, because it isn't good for honest men to have too much to do with dishonest ones. And they should wake up the nurses of crying children, unless the nurses ignore them, in which case they should let the child wake the nurse by crying instead. Dogberry gives her men a final order: act particularly vigilant near the house of Leonato. For Leonato's daughter, Hero, is to be married the next day, and the house is filled with commotion and chaos. After Dogberry and Burgess depart, the men they have left behind sit down quietly on a bench and prepare to go to sleep. Suddenly, the watchmen are interrupted by a couple of Don John's hired thugs, Borachio and Conrad. Borachio, who does not see the watchman, informs Conrad that he and Don John tricked Hero's servant, Margaret, into wearing Hero's clothes and kissing Borachio out a window, where they could be seen by Claudio, who is now convinced that Hero has been disloyal to him. Claudio, feeling heartbroken and betrayed, has vowed to take revenge upon Hero by publicly humiliating her at the wedding the next day. The watchmen, who have been quietly listening through this whole exchange, now reveal themselves and arrest Borachio and Conrad for lechery, by which they mean treachery. They haul them away to Dogberry, Burgess, and the sexton for questioning. Our young actors are Miley Gucci playing Dogberry, Colin Consavage playing Burgess, Baraccio playing Lev Young playing Baraccio, Riley Consavage playing Conrad, Mateo and Stefan Rea playing the Watchman, and No Young playing the Sexton. And now, please enjoy our skit, Dogberry, RFD, or Rubes of Another Sort.
Are you good men and true?
Yeah, or else it would be pity. But they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Nay, that were punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch.
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oatcake, sir, or George Sequel, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both which
You have! I knew would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why, give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
how if I will not stand?
Why then, take no note of him, but let him go. And presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you're rid of a knave.
If he will not stand and he is none of a prince's subjects.
True, and they're to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
You speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you were to call at all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone until they're sober. If they make you then not the better answer, you may say they're not the men you took them for.
Well, sir,
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why the more is for your honesty.
If we know them to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on them?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man with any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to a nurse and bid her to still it.
how if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it bays will never answer a cat when he bleats.
It's very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet a prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by Our Lady, I think I cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on it. With any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing. For indeed, the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Ha ha ha! Well, masters, good night. And if there be any matter of weight chances, call up me. And keep your fellows' counsel and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge, but let us sit here on the church bench till 2, then all to bed.
One word more. Honest, neighbors. I pray you, watch about Signor Leonardo's door. for the wedding being there tomorrow. There's a great coil tonight. Adieu! Be vigilant! I beseech you!
What? Conrad!
Peace, stir not.
Conrad, I say! Here, man, I am at thy elbow. Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would a scab follow. I will owe thee an answer for that. And now, onward with thy tale. Stand thee close, then, under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore know that I've earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones, the poor ones may make what price they will. I wonder at it. That proves thou art unconfirmed. Thou shouldst know that the fashion of a doublet, or a hat, or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean, the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Tush! I might as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed has been a vile thief this 7 year. Goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Didst thou not hear somebody?
No, it was the vein on the house.
Seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
This I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But aren't thou thyself giddy with the fashion too? For thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so, neither. But know that I have two knighthood Margaret, the lady hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how Claudio and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master Don John, saw far off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought they Margaret was Hero?
Two of them did, the prince and Claudio. But the devil my master knew she was Hero, partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which had confirmed any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio enraged, swore he would meet her next morning as he was appointed in the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw or night, and send her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name. Stand.
Following my the most dangerous piece of lechery ever known to the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. Where's
You'll be made drink deformed forth, I warrant you.
Master? Never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We are like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up by these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warrant you. Come, we will obey you.
Is our whole assembly up here?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that am I and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before the master concert.
Yeah, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Horatio.
Pray, write down Borachio. Yours, sirrah?
I, sir, am a gentleman, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yes, sir, we hope.
Write down they hope they serve God. And write God first, for God defend, but God should go before such villains.
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch, which are there accused.
Yeah, Mary, that's the eftest way. let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you, in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down Prince John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury, to call the prince's brother villain.
What heard you him say else?
Mary, that he had retrieved 1,000 ducats of Don John, accusing Lady Hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yeah, by mass that it is.
What else, fellow?
And that Count Claudio did mean, upon his word, to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villain! Thou shalt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John was this morning secretly stolen away. Hero, who was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of all this, suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I shall go ahead and show them their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Yes, let them be in the hands.
Ah, coxcomb. God's my life. Where's the sexton? Let her write down the prince's officer, coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet. Away! You are an ass! You are an ass! Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my ears? Oh, that you were here to write me down an ass. But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, older, and which is more, a man with the prettiest flesh in Messina, and one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and one that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
That was awesome. Thank you very much, Erin and Ken. I neglected to give Erin a credit beyond stage manager and assistant director. She is also a very accomplished director in her own right.
I did most of the work for this skit.
Yeah. Our next scene is directed by Mary Catherine Kelly. I know I've said this before. I don't want to embarrass her, but she is, I think, one of the fine shining stars in the firmament of Arden. but I don't want to get
Of our time.
go
of our
too
time.
far of
Not
our
the start,
time.
Of our time.
And I'll let her tell you about her scene. Good afternoon. The title of our scene is Another Part of the Forest, and it is literally and figuratively that. Shakespeare's comedies almost always have a subplot or two, just like we saw with Verges and Dogberry and Conrad and Borachio, that at some point in the play comes together with the main plot, usually with interesting and often funny results. This is one of my favorite subplots, Another Part of the Forest, from As You Like It, where we have Phoebe, a literal-minded shepherdess, who is being pursued by the amorous advances of Sylvius, a romantic shepherd. The couple is interrupted by a drive-by. Rosalind, disguised as a boy, Ganymede, another story for another time. Phoebe is played by Charlotte Curley, Rosalind by Abigail Gruswitz, and to my eternal shame, her name is not in the program. So Abigail Gruswitz is playing Rosalind, and Sylvius by Chris Burslow. Ladies and gentlemen, Another Part of the Forest.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness.
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty sure and very probable. The eyes are the softest, frailest things, who shut the coward gates of Adam. To be called tyrants, butchers, murderers, now I do frown thee with all my heart. And if mine eyes can move, then let them kill me. Now counterfeit to swoon, why now fall down? And if thou canst not, oh for shame, for shame. Lie not to say mine eyes are murdered. Now scratch me, but with a pen, and there remains some scarlet. But now I'm sure mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Nor I'm sure there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh dear Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek, power of fancy, then shall you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
Till that time, come not thou merely. For when that time comes, afflicting me with thy mocks, pity me not, as till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you, who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What though you have no beauty? As by my faith, I see no more in you than without a candle may go dark in bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than an ordinary miniature sailor. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No faith, proud mistress. Hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirits to your worship. You, foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a proper man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can, you are not for all markets. Try the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Thou must be found, being thou to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
Sweet youth, I pray you, chide a year together. I'd rather he would chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why do you look so upon me?
For no ill will, I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not, and if you will know my house, 'tis at the tuft of olives here hard by. Shepherd, ply her harps. Shepherdess, look on him better. And be not proud, though all the world could see. None could be so abused as sight as he. Come to our flock.
Sweet Phoebe,
Huh? What sayest thou, Sylvia?
sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I'm sorry for thee, gentle Sylvia.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love. I together by grief and love and your extermin. We're both exterminated.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you, so holy and so perfect is my love. And I, in such a poverty of grace, shall think it as a most plenteous crop.
Knowest
Then to glean the broken ears, after the man the main harvest reaps. Loose now than a scattered smile that I'll live upon.
knowest the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I have met him oft, and he hath bought the cottage and bounds that the old Carlot once was master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he speaks them, pleases those that hear. 'Tis a pretty youth, not very pretty, yet he is proud, but his pride becomes him. Think not I love him, nor hate him. Yet I have more causes to hate him than to love him. He said my eyes black and my hair black. I remembered it. Scorn at me. I'll write him a taunting letter. Thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Sylvius?
Phoebe, all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. It will be bitter, passing short. Go with me, Sylvius.
That as well was awesome. Our next scene is directed by Henry Moncure, who, along with me, has been directing since year one and has done a fabulous job. He's a familiar face on stage here. He was recently seen as Sir Andrew Aguecheek, one of my favorite roles. He was Albany, Agamemnon. You're going to come out and listen to this, huh, Henry?
No.
Clarence, Rodrigo, and many others. So I'm very happy to turn the stage over to Henry Moncure.
Yesterday I had exactly where the bench should go, and I memorized it, and I forgot it. So I know that's what I did. I put my foot on the blue tape, but it doesn't look like it's quite where it's supposed to be. Anyway, that is The Nurse. The Nurse is a world-weary, slightly coarse foil to Juliet, whose main purpose is an enabler. And as all enablers are, it comes from a place of love. She's the go-between between Romeo and Juliet. She's a confidant. She's a companion. She's a stand-in for the audience to occasionally deliver a message to Juliet that some of us wish Juliet would listen to. Our scenes focus on just the two of them together, Juliet and the nurse. You can follow the progression of the story arc and how that changes, how they interact with each other. The one constant is, of course, the love. We experimented with the settings a little bit. Our first scene is much more contemporary. Juliet and the nurse are the same age. Then we switch in the later scenes to more traditional roles. The actors will swap roles between each scene. Katie Bryan starts off in the role as Juliet. Rachel Nerl Warren takes on the nurse. The swapping of the roles is not subtle. You'll be able to figure out who's playing who. It's been a lot of fun working with Rachel and Katie. They got off book in very short order. They asked very good questions. They worked hard to implement what was some unclear direction from me. In short, they were a director's dream, so I'm very excited about this. I'd also like to thank Alan Harborough. He substituted for me on very short notice on a critical rehearsal where we worked out the blocking. So if you see something that you really like, it was one of them or Alan, it really wasn't me. However, I can proudly present Katie and Rachel in Enter the Nurse.
Come hither. What is yon gentleman?
The son and heir of old Tiberia.
What's he that is now going out of door?
Marry that, I think, the young Patricia.
What's he that follows there, that would not dance?
I know not.
Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and of Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate, too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of a love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What's this? What's this?
Of I learned even now, of one I dance withal.
Anon, come let's away. The strangers all are gone. The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour, she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love heralds should be thoughts which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over luring hills. Therefore do nimble and doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind-swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she's not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, slow, unwieldy, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Not good, sweet nurse. Oh Lord, why lookest thou sad? The news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am aweary. Give me leave a while. Why, how my bones ache. What a jaunt have I had.
I would thou hast my bones and I thy news. Nay, come I pray thee, speak. Good nurse.
Speak, Jesu, what haste. Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath, when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Say either, and let's state the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo, no, not he, though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's, and for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches. It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. My back on the other side. Oh, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death with jaunting up and down.
In faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Now, sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where's your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother?
Mary, are you so hot? Come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward, do your messages yourself.
Here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you to Friar Lawrence cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. Go, out to the cell, and to find a rope to climb up, which Romeo must climb. I am the drudge and toil near the light, but you shall bear the burden, suit at night. Go, out to dinner, hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune. Honest nurse, farewell.
Gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds, towards Phoebus' lodging, as such a wagoner as Phaedon would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy close curtain, love-performing night, that runaway's eyes may wink at me and Romeo, leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen.
Lovers concede to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, at best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood, batting in my cheeks with thy black mantle, till strange love grown bold, think true love acted simple modesty. Come, night, come, Romeo, come thou day and night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle knight, come, loving black-browed knight, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars. He will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it, though I am sold, yet not enjoyed. So tedious is this day as is the night before some festival to an impatient child who hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse, and she brings news. And every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquent. Now, nurse, what news? Are those the cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Aye, the courts.
Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, well a day. He's dead, he's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Alack the day, he's gone. He's killed. He's dead.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, whoever would have thought it? Romeo.
What devil art thou that dost torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? Say thou but I, and that bare foul eye shall poison more than the death-darting eye of a cockatrice. I am not I, if there be such an eye, or those eyes shut that make the answer I. If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. Here on his manly breast, a piteous course, a bloody, piteous course. Pale, pale as ashes, bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swoonded at the sight.
Oh, my poor heart, poor banker, break it once. To prison eyes, ne'er look on liberty. Vile earth to earth resigned, and motion here. And thou and Romeo, press one heavy bier.
Oh, Tybalt, best friend I had. Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo dead and Tybalt slaughtered? My dear loved cousin and my dear lord. Then dreadful trumpets sound the general doom. For who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh gods, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, alas the day, it did.
O serpent heart, hid with the flowering face, did ever dragon keep so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, dove-feathered raven, wolvish ravening lamb, despised substance of divinest show, just opposite to what thou justly seemest, a damned saint, an honorable villain. O nature, what hadst to do in hell when thou didst bower the spirit of a fiend in such moral paradise, of such sweet flesh? Was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous palace.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in all men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not, all dissemblers. Aye. Where's my man? Give me some aqua vitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow, shame is ashamed to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast I was to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Ah, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name, when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain? Didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong up to woe, which you mistakenly offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? There was word worse than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I tried to forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo, banished, that one word, banished. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit measure bound in that word's woe. No more woe can that word sound. Where is my father and mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent for Romeo's banishment.
Take up those cords, poor ropes. You were beguiled, both you and I. For he made me a highway to my bed, but I made thy maiden widowed. Come cords, come nurse. How to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maiden head.
Hie to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. All to him. He is hid at Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Oh God, oh nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth, my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as my. What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy? Some comfort, nurse.
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished in all the world to nothing, and yet he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. And if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case stands at so it doth, I think it best you married with Paris. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dishcloth to him, an eagle, madam, yet not so quick, so green, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels you first, or if it did not, your first is dead, or 'twere as good it were as he living here, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
From my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen. What? Well, you have comforted me marvelous much. Go in and tell my lady I'm gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence's cell to make confession and to be absolved.
Married? I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend, is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which he hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, counselor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain, all to the friar, to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
I would like to introduce the always inventive, sometimes subversive, but totally entertaining Alan Harbaugh, who has been directing with us for a number of years, has acted on our stages, and can be seen in March at the Wilmington Drama League production of Insignificance, playing the role of Einstein. Alan.
Thanks, Mary Catherine. And thank you to Mary Catherine for all she does for Arden Shakespeare. So there's an old saying, leave them laughing. So we're gonna end this with one of Shakespeare's best comedies. That's the tragedy of Macbeth. So if you know Macbeth's story, the first half of it is that he basically kills a whole bunch of people to become king. So we're going to skip that part. We're going to go right to the second part where he tries to stay king. So if there's something you know about the Scottish is that they love to golf. And they love to fight. And they love to fight about golf. So we're going to take that and we're just going to combine it all into the Macbeth storyline. So hang on. Oh, let's get rid of this too. All right. So welcome to the second annual Scottish National Golf Tournament here at the beautiful fairway outside Castle Dunsinane. You may remember last year when the Scottish team, led by King Duncan, easily defeated the Danish. This year they faced the English team, led by Lord Seward and his son, young Seward. Lord Seward, young Seward. Got it? It's going to be important. All right. So this year's Scottish team has seen some dramatic changes. Last year's best player, Macbeth, is now the team captain because last year's team captain, King Duncan, has been cut from the team. Literally cut from the team. Now, Duncan's son, Malcolm, also fearing he'd be cut, decided to join the English team. Macbeth also cut Macduff's wife and little children. And they weren't even on the team. So, Macduff joined the English team as well. Now, that left only loyal Seaton to help out Macbeth on the Scottish team. It's amazing how much Seaton looks like Malcolm, but it's a total coincidence. All right. The announcers and color commentary for today's golf tournament will be done by a magical trio that seems to have something cooking over on Fairway 1. All right.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble, eye of potato, ear of corn.
Ed, lettuce.
What? We're vegetarians! What advice was given Macbeth? Macbeth? Macbeth! Macbeth! Beware, Macduff, beware the saying of Fife, release me enough!
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Anything else?
Be lion mettled proud and take no care. Macbeth shall never vanquish thee until great Birnam wood on high Dunsinane hill shall come against him.
Till Birnam wood remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of a woman? The devil damn thee, black thou cream-faced loon! Where got thou that goose look?
There is 10,000,
Geese,
sir.
villain!
Soldiers, sir.
What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
I'll fight from my bones, my flesh be hacked. Bring me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. How does my wife?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind disease which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs. I'll none of it. Come, bring me my armor. Give me my staff. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Birnam wood be come to Dunsinane.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Birnam.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host.
Gracious, my lord, I should report that which I say I saw.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Birnam, and anon, methought the wood began to move.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree thou shalt hang alive. Ring the alarm bell. Lo, wind, come rack. At least we'll die with a harness on our back.
Come on, man. Now near enough your leafy screens throw down. Cousin, lead our first battle. Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do.
Very well. Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
What is thy name? Thou'lt be afraid to hear it. No, though thou cast thyself a hotter name than any is in hell. My name's Macbeth. The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear. No, nor more fearful. The liest abhorred tyrant, with my sword I'll prove the lie thou speaks. On guard! Macbeth looks pretty teed off.
Ooh, what a slice. Where's that a
Hole in one.
Thou wast of woman born, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by one that's of woman born.
That way the noises. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be slain and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die upon mine own sword, whilst I see lives, the gashes, do better upon them? Turn, hellhound, turn! Of all men I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with the blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out. Hey, that's a really nice wood. Thanks. They're made by Burnham.
You mean you?
That's right. I brought Burnham woods to Dunsinane.
Thou losest labor. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee. Macduff was from his mother's womb, untimely ripped.
Ugh! Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part man. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield. And though Burnham would become to Dunsinane, and thou oppose, being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be the first one who cries, hold, enough!
I would the friends we missed were safe arrived. Macduff is missing, and my noble son. Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt, but like a man, he died.
Dead, he is dead.
I am brought off the field.
As he has heard before.
I on the front.
Why then, God's soldiers, be he, and so is now.
Behold where stands the usurper's head, King Macbeth, and Lady Macbeth,
And Fido, Macbeth, and Chicken, McNuggets. I was hungry. For
show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming. Couple of things. Number one, Alan Harbaugh, whose scene you just saw, was basically the most valuable player of this whole production. He helped out two of the directors who were unable to make a rehearsal, so there are little pieces of Alan in at least two other shows.